All right. Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Venus, Sailor V, Sailor Hellas World, Mina here, or Mina I know here, and and got hair right there. And today we're gonna talk about, you know, what is the downside of being a Irwin toy or a Bandai doll? Now, for many other dolls out there, it might be heads coming off, you know, or clothing being hard to put back on, to get back on once you got it off, or shoes or boots, being hard to either get on or get off. Well, if you're a Irwin toy, Sailor Moon Irwin toy doll, or a Sailor Moon Bandai Sailor Moon doll, then the downside is, well, not getting the clothes on and off, if that's what you want to do. I mean, getting the clothes back on or putting new clothes on, that's one of the binds. But the big one would be legs breaking off. And believe it or not, that is what tends to happen to Irwin Toy Sailor Moon dolls. Most likely happens to Bandai Sailor Moon dolls too. Now, a lot of folks out there might think, oh, big deal. You can go look up a doll healing house business. Yeah, because then you got to get a hold of them. And then you have to set up a time and a date and a month to have it shipped to them. Then you got to yield for the time and all the tools and things that it would take, to my hair's right there. I hate that. That it would take for them to heal the doll, and if they could. And keep in mind, not every doll healer can heal every doll. Some of them they cannot. So if you can't afford a doll healing house, then the other thing would do over sticky ooze, which is a hit and miss because sometimes it can hold things together and other times it cannot. You have to have some kind of over sticky ooze and some kind of film or some kind of tape of some kind. Most likely hard tape that's worked for, for cuts, or wounds, or, wiring tape, because that would be the strongest. Now, you could say duct tape would be strong too. And that's the only thing you can do if you can't afford a doll healing house. So, yeah, that happens a lot. It happened to Tuxedo Mask back around, well, keep in mind, from 2012 YL to 27 between YL, if his foot came out a hole, no big deal, you could just pop it back in. Because the thing that was holding it in was still there. Well, that didn't, by 27 between YL, that was no longer true because that thing broke. So there were these bands holding it together. And then last year it broke again, and now we got, I guess, over sticky ooze and some kind of tape holding it together. And it happened to me this year, or yeah, it did happen to me this year, that I made a film, and I was on that doll stand, the ones that you see us on and Rainbow Bright and other dolls on, and my foot broke off, and I had to have film or tape to hold it together. Now you need to be asking yourself, why would Irwin toy dolls' legs break off? Why would that be the downside? I do not know. Either because folks are going to say things like, oh, well, the dolls you got there, well, they're old. They were made in 20 or 2001 YL. So by now things should start coming undone with them. But that's not true. If you do take good care of them, they shouldn't come undone. You know. So, yeah, that is the downside of being an Irwin toy doll, or even a Bandai doll, if you're Sailor Moon, is that the legs could break off. You know. And keep in mind, if you're lucky, oh, fuck. And keep in mind, if you're lucky and the leg comes out, but the thing that's holding it in the hole still there, well, you can always put it back. You can always have it go into, have it back into the, into the hole again, and everything's good. So, but the worse than it's not, you got to have some kind of tape to hold it over sticky ooze and tape to hold it instead then. And that's what you can do if you can't afford a doll healing house. So, anyway, that's the downside of being an Irwin toy Sailor Moon doll or a Bandai Sailor Moon doll, even the older ones and the newer ones, is that the legs can break off. You could do something as smooth as putting it in one of those badly made stands, or take the boots off or the shoes off, and then while you're getting the shoe or boot back on, it could break that way. Or it could just break because, I don't know, because you're holding it. So who knows really but there's many ways how it happens. And that is the downside of being a Irwin toy Sailor Moon doll, or even a Bandai Sailor Moon doll too. Alright, give this film a like, share and playlist it, and I'll see you later.